Hello, and you're listening to You Still Going On About That with myself, Rob Israel, and
Joseph K.
And you can find us on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, Google Play, Castbox, and Podbeam. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share it. Tell your mom about it. And while you're at it, we also have a Facebook page. You Still Going On About That. Again, like it, join it, comment, share it. And thank you and enjoy. I'm Rob Israel.
I'm Joseph K.
And you still going on about
that?
Okay. Hey, Joseph.
Yeah.
Did you see that new trailer for Terminator Dark Fate?
I did, yes. Yeah, look, I liked it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Why?
I liked it because I like the Terminator movies.
I like robots.
Well, yeah. And I
like cars.
Yeah.
And I like people on cars.
Well, I originally thought when I was watching it, I thought it was a gritty Cars reboot.
I knew right away when I didn't see the eyes on the car windows, like in the cars, that this was definitely a different direction for the Cars series.
For Pixar in general.
Yeah, Pixar in general. They went live action, sort of.
Yeah.
And, I appreciate it. No, I mean, it definitely was, it felt like Mad Max.
It did.
The new one, Furiosa, what's it called?
Yeah, Thunder Road.
Thunder Road,
yes.
Yeah. I don't know what to expect from it. It was just a short little trailer. The new ones have not been that great, but I feel like since that trailer came out, I was thinking, we're like, well, what do we want to talk about? I'm like, why not talk about the original Terminator?
Yeah, it's a great time to look back.
That movie is awesome.
It is.
On so many levels.
It's super watchable. And you had told me you got to watch Terminator 1 again.
Yeah.
And I started watching it upstairs on the big TV, and I finished on my phone in bed. And it was one of those movies where you wanted to keep watching it. And sometimes I'm like, I'll finish it tomorrow or whatever. But this one kind of kept you going.
It's not that long, right?
No, it was under 2 hours. And
yeah.
Look, it's an older movie.
Yeah.
And I feel like movies used to be routinely like an hour and a half.
They just felt, and even if they were, though, the pacing was slower.
Yeah,
Like we talk about like Star Wars, the first Star Wars feels more like a 70s movie, while Empire is not a 70s movie anymore.
Right.
Like, I always felt like whenever I watched anything from the 70s, it all has a slow build up.
Yes.
And then let's say whatever you're watching, like Jaws, for example, Jaws doesn't show up for the last 20 minutes in the movie. Right. It's all build up and talking and
Yeah.
It's just how things were paced back then. This movie came out in 84. So
yes.
we're into the 80s.
Yeah.
I guess, is this... I know it's not James Cameron's first movie.
No.
But he did like Piranha or something.
He did, yeah. I don't know this off the top of my head. I looked it up earlier. He did like a 20-minute student film, which
Frankenweenie?
No, it was Xenogenesis. It was basically like a Terminator on a spaceship.
Was it in a pond, like in his backyard?
But he did like
he goes under...
Do you
think he opened up a comic? You remember those old comics back in the day? They would have ads for like a submarine.
Oh yeah.
It was like only $6. I remember picking up an old comic. I mean, this is before my time, but I would buy old comics when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And so anything as a kid, when I would read comics from in the 80s, and I would read a comic from like the mid to late 60s, to me that felt so ancient. And it was. I mean, stylistically, everything's so different. Like, I feel like now when I look at an old comic, it doesn't look as old to me. I don't know. Maybe it's just... Regardless, I would see those wonky, weird ads for like X-ray specs.
Oh, I used to see those,
and one of them would be the submarine.
There was the two-person submarine.
Yep.
There was a X-ray specs.
Yep.
There was itching powder.
Yep.
The sea monkeys.
What about the Arnold Schwarzenegger ad?
Yeah,
where he would teach you how to
Jack Atlas or something. Yeah.
Jack Atlas. That's a horrible name. But yeah, Arnold was an old, because he's been around forever. Yeah. He's been a famous bodybuilder since I think the mid to late 60s. Yep. He was already well established at that point.
Yeah.
And
I remember seeing brand him new though to the scene, really.
Right. I mean, Arnold still, for movie cinema, He's fairly new at this point. I mean, his biggest role is like Conan.
Yeah.
It's Conan. I mean, he might
Did
have done
Conan the Destroyer too, or just the original?
I think that might have came out the same year.
Oh, okay, sure.
You know, after Terminator, the movies just start coming out. I
right.
mean, like it's Cobra, Red Heat,
Red Sonja.
Oh,
big hit.
Red Dog.
Reds with Warren Beatty.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't remember him from that.
Well, the interesting fact was Warren Beatty was going to run against him for governor.
Oh, okay, that'd have been a good race.
I don't know why. He should have. Maybe he had. He thought that. What was that movie he did where he's like a senator and he gets shot? He becomes
Is
like
that
a
him?
has Halle Berry.
Yeah.
He probably was like, shit, no way. He's like, I already did.
I know how this movie ends.
Yeah, I don't like, and I that was fiction. I'm not gonna make that reality.
Oh man.
Yeah, I would have been interesting. I would have liked to have seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Arnold, but I'm not a fan of his.
No. Well,
I will say this though.
Yeah.
You know, he thought he was a Terminator as the governor,
right?
But he got his ass handed to him by the nurses union.
Yeah,
in California.
Well,
he tried passing some sneaky shit.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna charitably ignore his political.
Let's ignore his political career. I feel like he's gotten better over the years.
He has. Look, he's, and it's tough to wonder, like, has he moderated himself, or have things become so out of whack that he just seems moderate?
I think it's a combination of a bunch of things. I think, like, it's just like anybody, if they accept a position in something, some people, not everybody, some people will all of a sudden start selling oranges and be only selling oranges when they used to sell apples.
Yeah, we've talked about this,
Like, I'm not saying that he has no integrity, but I think when, the winds were changing and I will say this, they talked about him and like the media would call him like a liberal Republican and all that. It's like, well, he's running in California.
You gotta be,
I will say the myth of California being this liberal state. I live there. It's not, parts.
It's really like
major
three
cities.
states.
Yeah, major cities.
Well, that's
California.
like Oregon.
The rest is all like,
when I lived in Oregon, like 97% of the state is super conservative. It's just Eugene, Salem, maybe Corvallis, and Portland that are liberal. Every other city in the state is super conservative.
Yeah, I lived in Northern California for a couple of years.
Sure.
And, except for the college in that area, that shit was deep red.
Oh, yeah. Well, the Inland Empire's all...
So I always wonder, imagine if Arnold was like running for governor in Alabama.
Right.
What would he be like? I don't think he could. I don't think he could run for governor in Alabama.
I don't know.
He would have to like put up a fake Southern accent, first of all. That would have been really bizarre.
I would see that movie.
You'd see that movie? It's called...
Vote for me, y'all.
Yeah.
All right, so...
Dixie, the South will rise again.
I am going to throw out a minor thing, and we can get to it later or ignore it. But I think one of the things, and I read this today, one of the things that made Terminator, the original Terminator, pretty effective is that it came at an odd time in America, and the Cold War was still kind of brewing. I mean,
I would say at that point it was like, I remember as a kid growing up in that time. So, I was like 7, I think, when I saw the Terminator, which was a rated R movie. So watching Arnold's ding dong dangling in the wind in a dark shadow, put an imprint on my brain.
He was like a Adonis from the future kind of game.
Nightmare.
It was Cold War-y, and it was an odd time. Like, look, this is post-war games. And technology.
The movie War Games?
Yeah. Was that not Chris Makepeace? Who was in that?
Chris Makepeace. I love that name. No, it's fucking, what's his name?
Ferris Bueller.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Ferris Bueller. That's
right.
He played him.
So it was post-war. Look, this is a time when, like, people were really questioning, like, could technology take over? People were wondering.
Well, the idea of nuclear war was always. I mean, it was used in everything.
Yep.
That famous TV movie, I think, already came out.
The Day After and Threads.
There's all these, like, every movie I saw as a kid, even freaking Weird Science, had a scene involving nuclear missiles. I remember even. Did you ever see My Science Project?
Yeah.
When they like time warp the science,
Right,
it's like
yeah,
this
yeah.
thing from space, and then they go into like a dark future, and it's all mutants. And,
Okay, gosh.
yeah, again.
I wonder if you're talking me into remembering it, but that seems real familiar.
And if I'm not, and if
Sure.
I am, who cares?
Well, look, so the Terminator came like at a pretty interesting time, and it really kind of spoke to all those things. It was Cold War-ish. It was dark. It was
It's
like
just a chase film too.
But that's it too. It was, and you said this before we even started recording. It's pretty low tech,
It's low budget, I mean, except for like the amazing effects of Stan Winston at the time, and,
Right.
Which I didn't realize he was dead for 10 years already.
I think it wasn't his last movie, AI, the Steven Spielberg, Stanley Kubrick movie.
Well, I think he died around the time of when Terminator Salvation came out. Because when I was watching Terminator Salvation today, it said in loving memory of Stan Winston.
Oh, okay.
So
That's a tip
died.
off. Yeah.
He just died. Like I think like a month before that movie came out.
Yeah. If I ever make it big, I hope they do a lot of in loving memory episodes of me. But like while I'm still alive, just remembering the good times we had, like on the set and stuff.
Right. That's how it works. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's some effects from the future. Those scenes are very scary. I would say even like in the beginning of the movie when they just show like, what is it supposed to be L.A.?
Oh, I don't know.
When Arnold shows up from the future and he fights Bill Paxton. Like he basically the first thing you see is a bunch of punks.
Well, it's a weird movie. If the very first thing you see is the ending, you see a world in which the machines won.
Oh yeah.
And it's a cool little device. It's probably the most special effects heavy part.
Spoilers.
Right.
The movie does not. There's the only hope you have in the end of the movie is that John Connor will be born.
Right.
And there is no. You're left with knowing that the beginning of the movie will happen in this world.
Yeah.
They don't stop the Terminators from happening.
Right.
It's like how do I say this? It's just like the main soldier, the main guy who's going to lead like the revolution against Skynet. He will be born.
Yeah,
that's it. That's all you're sure.
Victory,
you're not. You're not like this. Dark future is still destined to happen in this universe.
The only victory is that sliver of hope.
That's it.
Yeah,
and you're not that. And I find that interesting. So it's not like other movies where like they'll resolve it and stop that evil future.
Oh,
that future is still going to happen.
Yep.
It's inevitable as far as we know.
Yeah,
the way it's left. All we know, and it takes place in like what, one night?
Yeah,
or it's like 2 days. I think it's like 2 days. Yeah, it's 2 days pretty much.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Like, him, Arnold lands, and then Reese, played by Michael Biehn, very unappreciative actor.
Okay, yeah.
James Cameron used him in several movies. He's in Aliens. He's
right.
I think he's in that one that's underwater.
The Abyss.
Yeah, I think he has a part in that. He's a great actor. He's one of those guys who, I don't know. I just feel like he never was properly utilized outside of James Cameron.
It's a special like niche.
Well, it's like the same thing. It's like Bill Paxton, he was in a lot of stuff, but man, he was there from the beginning with James Cameron.
He was in Abyss too, wasn't he?
He's in Titanic. He's in Aliens. Yep. He's in the beginning of Terminator, which I totally forgot. He's the punk with the blue hair.
Right, you told me that.
Yeah, I didn't realize it. I didn't know that till years later. I totally forget that. And the other punk is the bad guy from Cobra. He's this freakish looking guy. Yeah. I'm going to get his name.
Yeah,
you see this man pop up in things.
You said that, and okay, I was watching Terminator as you and I were texting the other night, and you said Bill Paxton is the guy with blue hair, and I had to pause it because it's not like
it's very quick,
and it's not a super well lit scene.
Yeah, you only see him for a minute, and then he punches a hole right through him.
Yeah, and Bill Paxton later in his career developed kind of a shtick that he played like a Bill Paxton character, like the guy from his character from Aliens.
Brian Thompson's the other punk. I don't know the other guy's name. Oh, and I guess Brad Reardon's the other punk. I don't see anything about Brian Thompson. He's this. It's a funny name. He's a guy that like he was in like a ton of movies in the 80s. You see him in like some TV shows in the 90s. I think I saw him on the Orville recently. It was like the first time I saw him in years.
Okay. Yeah.
And he's like one of these guys who, again, I feel like is not appreciated. very bizarre looking man.
Yeah.
Like, and no offense, Brian Thompson.
Right.
You're listening to
because
this.
I'm gonna like try to reach
Don't
out to him
kill
on
me.
Twitter.
All right, don't kill me. I know you're probably still a formidable opponent.
Oh yeah.
And you were scary as shit in the movie Cobra.
Right.
So, but you are a freak. So it's cool, man. You owned it, and so that's my love letter to Brian Thompson. Yeah, he's in that movie.
Memory.
Yeah, he's alive. He's not dead.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. He was in Joe Dirt, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't know
All
that.
right.
And
Well,
I knew he was in Mortal Kombat.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Annihilation. The shitty one.
I was going to say, I
He
saw
plays
the first one.
Shao Kahn, the main villain. He's just like, again, it's like, I forget that. So those punks, it's like this throwaway scene, but like Arnold like takes their clothes,
Yeah.
punches a hole through Bill Paxton, kills the other guys,
Well-
and like I said, right from the beginning, it's like, okay, it begins in a dystopian future.
Yep.
You're at a dystopian present.
Yeah, it was...
It's
Yes.
scary. I remember watching it as a kid. I was like,
What the fuck is this?
yeah,
Yeah,
like, the way it's shot and atmospheric, it's really well done, and it's very effective.
oh, it's great. Yeah. It's dark. It's Los Angeles. It's like, things are about to become Blade Runner in about 10 years.
It just feels like if you walk down the street, you're getting mugged.
Well, yeah.
That's basically how it felt.
Cops
and I'm sure there was
patrolling,
truth to it. I'm sure there's some truth to it.
I don't know, but it sounds
I didn't
like
live.
sure.
I was only 7 at the time. But yeah, I don't know.
Well, it's funny because the punks kind of, you go from the weird little special effect future with the tanks rolling over human skulls and some laser weapons and all that.
Yeah.
And then you go to the present, basically. And it is our present, right? It's
supposed to be
set in 1984.
It's the year it came out.
Right.
Maybe. Yeah.
But the punks kind of looked like, not futuristic, but they were like a weird kind of anarchy type element. And it was dark, and it was just a mess.
They're just fucking 80s punk assholes in the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really much. It's just assholes.
And Arnold immediately delivers like a third of his dialogue for the entire film in that opening scene.
What does he say?
He says, like, they talk to him, and he repeats what they say.
Well, he's also naked.
Yes,
Because you come back naked.
Right.
Yeah.
That seemed like a gratuitous thing.
Well, they explain that in other things.
It, but
it was a rated R movie.
Yeah.
That's how. When I was watching this movie as a kid, I was like, I knew I was watching a rated R movie. From like the sex scene in the middle, which I always found super awkward and
also
weird.
gratuitous.
Again, but that was like an 80s. I feel like back in the day, you had to have sex scenes in all these movies, like, because even though it's unlike Terminator 2, which didn't have an odd sex scene in it.
No, but
that would have been weird.
Cinema had changed.
Arnold's like, Hannah, go in the other room. I'm going to plow your mom. I'm going to plow your mom. Go in the other room. I think now you're going to know why I'm the Terminator.
And that
was cut. That was a scene that was cut from Terminator 2 Judgment
my
Day.
special DVD.
Yeah, so you're going to have to look for that one. That's a Japanese rare import. Yeah, it's a Japanese rare import.
Okay, so it starts out like that. I forget what he says, but basically the punks like egg him on, and he's like, he says like, yeah, I need to change or whatever, and then he says like, what size are you, or something to that effect. He's, give me your clothes. Is the big line.
Does he already see the robot stuff at that point? Like that one cool thing they introduced is like what he sees, which is like everything's got like little sensors and like. He's scanning. Everything's scanning. It's like he's got like the red outline going around the person. It's like he's picking up on what they are. And
I remember at the time, because I saw it when it came out in the theater. I think I saw it with my dad, and it was amazing. I mean, it was like really, really good, and it was kind of a cool thing I hadn't seen before, and it felt so futuristic.
Yeah.
I guess I'll throw that out there too. My dad took me to see it. My dad, he's not a film snob by any stretch. I mean, he'll see a big block, but he was more particular about his films. He used to take me to see a lot of art films and a lot of foreign films, and he wanted to see this because he had read an article in the New York Times about
Son, we want to see the Terminator.
No,
Father.
He said it was supposed to be like a thinky.
But what's funny about it though is if you watch this movie, like really, it's no, except for if you edited out those sci-fi future scenes,
Yes.
it runs just like any low budget action film from that time period.
Well,
like I said, all those movies all followed the same thing, and they always had like a weird love scene in the middle, like
Yep.
the structure and everything. Except this movie, this movie, maybe to get made, it's like they went along with it, but then it's like they introduced elements that made this movie different from other
Yes.
movies. Like that, like no, this is a special movie. This is gonna This is
This
going to
will be
last
something,
50
yeah.
years. This is going to
Well,
last 100 years.
I'll tell you, when I was watching it the other night, watching it, and I'm looking at the clock, not necessarily because it's dragging on, but I'm just kind of trying to see what the pacing is like. Like 20 minutes into it, I realized like all I've seen so far is basically chase scenes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a hallmark of the earlier type.
I mean, it's not. I mean,
you're right. It was an odd mix of like some pretty traditional, made for
cheesy
TV, yeah.
80s, like I don't know, made to TV, grindhouse, cheesy, like rated R, typical 80s like action movie.
Yes.
But there's something more special about this one. There's something different. And it's almost like sneaky. It's like, how do you get this movie made? It's like you could tell smarter, more creative people were working on this movie. No offense to the dumb people making the movie.
Right.
You know who you are.
I'll tell you, and this is also kind of like a side note. They got sued for the script.
Oh, they did?
Harlan Ellison, a famous science fiction writer, wrote several episodes. I want to say it was The Outer Limits, an old TV show.
Yeah.
And they said that the Terminator was basically cribbed from 2 episodes.
I think I might have heard of this.
Of the Outer Limits episodes that Harlan Ellison wrote. And Harlan Ellison took him to court and he won. I can't remember if he won in court or if they settled or whatever, but
I'm sure they settled.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, look,
What? I mean, do you know what the deviations were?
Yeah, I didn't.
I mean, like robots from the future.
Right.
I mean,
some of these are pretty broad strokes. Like,
I mean,
time travel as a notion only has so many ways.
Right, but I mean, there's something. I mean, spoilers, guys.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna spoil this movie.
Sure.
So
it's very old. It's very.
If you have a fucking problem with this point,
right.
Then you got fucking other problems. That you need to get yourself. You just go get.
Yeah.
You go get yourself checked out. You know? Come back, listen to the rest of this podcast.
Right.
Okay, so okay, you're back. All right, everything's okay. Good. Excellent. So, one of the biggest mind fucks of this movie, and it's funny too because it's like Terminator 2. They had to like out mind fuck you.
Yes.
The big mind fuck is that. Okay, Kyle Reese is sent back in time.
Right.
To make sure that
John Connor is born.
Well, Linda Hamilton playing
Sarah Connor.
Sarah Connor.
Yes.
Sarah Connor.
Right, that's the other third of Arnold's
and then
lines.
Arnold has to find Sarah Connor. He kills like another Sarah Connor.
He kills like a dozen of them or something.
Well, there's that one lady who I swore I've seen in like tons of other things with the curly hair.
Right.
He kills her.
I liked that though. He was like, how is he going to do it? I'm going to kill all the Sarah Connors.
You think he would be able to? I don't know. I guess you think he'd had a photo of her?
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's not Sarah Connor. Like, I would imagine, and again, nitpicking here. You would think in the future to like Terminator. I don't know how. I don't know how these people talk. You know, they're probably talking in code. There's no
right.
No one says
zeros and ones.
001, 0001. Like Terminator 1000. Go back in time.
Right. Well,
do I get the photo? No. Just go and kill every Sarah. Just kill all the Sarah Connors.
I think it'd be funny if like
cover your bases. Here's the zip code. There's like 50 of them.
One of the other Sarah Connors had like invented Skynet or something. Like,
well, then they would have been like, yeah. Well, clearly no.
It's funny. Some movies do a great job of imagining the future.
I just think it's a rated R movie though.
Yeah.
It's violent. So you're going to have them kill a bunch of things.
Yeah. Well, they didn't know how the future would pan out. I mean, clearly this was not the best plan.
Well, the biggest mindfuck, though, is that the future created the past.
Right.
Because John Connor, why was Kyle Reese sent back in time?
Right.
Well, for a reason. Because Kyle Reese is going to get on in a awkward love scene. Without that hand holding.
Yeah.
I was watching the movie, I was like,
It seems so odd that they
They're
would
in
do
love.
that,
They're in
right?
love.
Like
that one day they were together. She writes a note in the end.
Yeah.
Remember in the end, she's like, she's pregnant, and
Right,
she's
right.
like, that's when the famous photo that Kyle
yeah,
had.
the Polaroid, yeah.
And it's so funny too, because when the kid's like $5, and she's like, "How about $4?"
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? You should give him like $1 million.
Right.
This is like a very important photo, and you're conning this kid. You know what?
Yeah.
I'll give you $4, kid.
I
Like
don't-
if that kid knew.
Oh yeah.
What if he knew?
20.
It's like 20,
Easy.
yeah, at least $20. $6.
I
Prices
would
went
say, and I don't know this for a fact. I should have read more about this, but I'll bet you that was one of the elements that was stolen because that's such a distinctive element of this.
That the future,
movie.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
it's very. I mean, when you leave, you're like, holy shit, Kyle Reese was his dad.
Well, I had to have that explained to me. Like I suspected that was the case. Well, I'm
so
like
the birds and the bees are explained to
sometimes
you.
when
Even though
a
you were older
man
than
from
me.
the future loves a woman
When
from
a
the
man
past.
from the future goes back in time. Well, one, that's impossible.
Yeah, well,
But two,
I had to because like you're right. There's a couple cool things about the ending where like there's the twist. You know that the future. It's so weird. Like just to even put it into words, Kyle's friend from the future created Kyle from the. I don't know. Anyway, so there's that.
well, it's just like a underling, like John Connor from the future.
Yeah.
Like they're like going through. Who are we gonna send back in time?
To make me.
And they're like, let's send this guy back. And the other guy's like, no, man, this guy's an idiot.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, yeah, I know, but I mean, like that guy got like 8 people killed last
Right.
week. Yeah, but it's really important we send this guy back.
So
All right, John, we'll trust you on this.
it is. It's an odd
woo.
thing. Well, I think that also kind of adds to the feeling, and that's another thing that this movie did pretty well. Is that everything seems so inevitable, right? Like the future was already written.
Well,
and the future helps create the past. It's
right.
like yeah,
and then
it's
they
weird.
do it again in Terminator 2. Which, honestly, when I saw Terminator 2, I wasn't expecting this swerve. Where they double down on the future creating the past.
Oh yeah.
They double down on the future creating the past by revealing that which I always found kind of funny because, okay, again, spoilers, Terminator 2. We're ruining Terminator 2. The movie's from 1991.
Yeah. Wow.
All right, you're back. You saw it? All right, cool. So, Terminator 2, when they go find, like, this guy who I guess is listed as, like, the Skynet creator.
Right. Yeah.
Do you remember his name?
No, but he played a role in the Sarah Connor Chronicles, I believe, that you and I were talking about earlier.
I didn't watch that show.
Yeah, we'll avoid that, but yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's TV. That doesn't count. So Terminator 2, they reveal that and it's funny too because it's like they have a chip and they have a hand
Right.
in Skynet.
Oh, yeah.
So the Skynet was able to take future technology and create itself. So not just did Kyle, it's almost like the future served two purposes. The future needed to create its villain and its hero.
Right.
The hero, you find out in the beginning in the first movie that the hero of the future is created in the past by the future.
By person
and then
from
you
the
find
future.
out in the second movie that the villain of the future is also created by the initial villain sent back in time. So that means that Skynet had to have been aware that this was a futile battle, that this Terminator is going to lose, and he has to lose.
Because they need the hand to make
the hand and the chip. It was kind of funny though, because I'm like, there were still other parts available. They just go. Yeah, it gets crushed in the compact hand, and I know like they're saying like, okay, they found the hand. So they were just like, they saw the skull that was kind of crushed. They're like, yeah, fuck this. They threw it out. They're like, ooh, keep that chip. That's important. Oh, we got a hand. Good. Everything else, chuck that shit.
It's a weird thing. I don't know how I feel about it.
I mean, that's being picky with like, they just have this hand. I mean, it's more dynamic. It's like a hand was like in this vial, and the chip, which is like the Terminator's brain, was in the flash drive.
Yeah.
So I always found that kind of interesting too. How the future, or maybe you could look at it too, like the future was inevitable.
Right.
The future was going to happen. Skynet is always inevitable. It's going to happen. So regardless if they sent the Terminator back in time to Skynet would still happen.
Yeah, I can't remember. Did they ever talk about the resources needed to do time travel? Was it like explained as a...
All right, so I didn't watch the show.
Right.
I know they talked about it in there because in the show, I remember watching the pilot and they time travel on the pilot.
Yeah.
They go from like 1993 to like whatever year the show.
Sure.
Never understood that. That was super weird.
Yeah.
Terminator 3 came out, which it was like revealed that like Skynet's inevitable.
Right.
You think that like by blowing up Skynet in Terminator 2 and then Arnold's character sacrificing himself in the end because he's like, I have to go too.
Yeah.
He's like,
right, and he does it in
I'm
the
the
big...
future. I gotta leave, even though he could have stuck around.
Yeah,
but he had to give a thumbs up as he
right. That was so. Yeah, that was so.
I love you. I'm your robot daddy. and then he burns and you cry. You're like, oh my god, you're like the Chewbacca of evil robots.
Well, it was like I remember seeing that and like that was like a pretty effective thing, you know, like taking the Terminator and making him likable. Yeah, like lovable.
And then I'm going to become a shitty governor.
Well, but there was like some scenes, like remember when I'm
going to take your nostalgic emotions and twist them, and I'm going to run as a shitty governor.
Yeah, it was weird. I mean, like he did a pretty good job of being like a stand-in dad to John Connor.
Well, because he had no dad.
Right.
Because the Terminator killed him.
Right.
He's like... It's weird, too, because it's like he's just another Terminator. He's not
even like, the Terminator.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a ton of them.
Right. He's a model of
that.
Yeah.
And Terminator 3 is... Terminator 3 is weird.
It's the Claire Danes one, right?
Yeah, it's the one with Claire Danes and the guy from the show Carnival.
Yeah.
In the movie Bully.
Yeah.
He's playing John Connor. And Linda Hamilton. It's a different director.
I just remember it kind of being a mess. And
it was like, okay, I love the ending, though. The ending, you find out, the big twist in the end of that one is that Arnold's like, listen, Skynet was going to happen.
Right.
I'm here to just make sure you live. That you, it's like Kyle Reese, like, I'm not here to stop the future. I'm here to just make sure you're born.
Right, yeah.
This Arnold's like, listen, I'm here to make sure you get into this bunker.
Right.
And the end of the movie is all the nuclear missiles going off.
Yeah.
And it's a fucking savage ending. I mean,
yeah.
You're just like watching this and the world ends, but John Connor is in the underground base in NAR or something. It's like in Denver, Colorado or something.
Yeah. It's
I was gonna say Narwhal, but that's a
Narwhal. That'd be adorable.
It's
the command, like North Atlantic.
Yeah, right? It's like
NORAD.
Yeah, NORAD.
Yeah,
he gets them to NORAD and he buries them there so that they can survive. And live, and then at the end of the movie, it's like there's still a sliver of hope because like John Connor is like communicating like with people.
I think it seems weird. Like once, I don't know, because of the circular nature of things, like. The longer the series goes on, the less essential it seems, and the less it makes sense. I get like, okay, so you have the time travel thing, and then it also happens in Terminator 2. But at some point, you're like, why don't the robots just keep time traveling back and trying? Right?
Yeah.
Right
after that, you just send another one.
Yeah, like
you send a robot every 3 days. Every 3 days, we send a robot back.
Or you send it 3 days earlier.
Yeah, we sent one 3 days earlier.
Right.
And we sent one 2 days earlier.
Yeah.
And we sent one a month later.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean...
Or you go after Sarah Connor's mom, like in the 50s or something.
Well,
I mean, like,
here's the
this
thing
doesn't seem hard.
Did you see Terminator Genesis?
Is that the Christian Bale one?
No, Terminator.
Oh, this is the new one with Sam Rockwell.
So Terminator 3 and Sam Rockwell is not. That's
right. I know that would be a great Terminator.
Yeah, Sam Rockwell is the Terminator. Yeah, the skis ball Terminator. No, Sam Worthington is in. So that movie comes out in 2003. It does okay, but it's like enough to get like enough juice back in Arnold's celebrity to like then announce that he's going to run for governor a month later.
Okay, yeah.
I remember that. I was like, damn it.
Yeah.
It was like a month later. Because his career at that point, like after like Terminator 2 is his peak. He peaks at that point. And everything like, he doesn't really do much. And then he does Last Action Hero.
Yep.
And that unfortunately comes out after Jurassic Park.
Right.
And Last Action Hero was not a great movie.
No.
It's okay. It's a mess. It's okay. There's some funny. There's like it's interesting.
Yeah.
But this was supposed to be this huge hit, and it's like, dude, you just came out the same year as Jurassic Park. You just got crushed. That fucking T-Rex stomped on his ass. And, I mean, I don't think he has like really any. I mean, yeah, Last Action Hero is good. Not Last Action Hero. We just said that.
Are you thinking of the one
where he's like a secret agent?
True Lies?
True Lies.
Yeah.
Another James Cameron movie.
Yeah.
And that was the one that I was shocked they never made a sequel to.
I've heard that they bounced that around.
Yeah. And it just never happened.
True
Like, Tom
Lies
Arnold was like,
who
was surprisingly good in it, and like, because he was known as like the Roseanne asshole.
Yes.
He was like the guy who made Roseanne like more annoying.
He was a hanger-on of Roseanne.
Well, he got married her and they got divorced, and at that point he stars in True Lies and he launches his own career.
Do you remember when they had a restaurant, Roseanne and Tom Arnold? They started a chain of restaurants.
It was like Loose Meat.
Yeah, that's exactly
she
what
like
it was.
advertised it on this show. I'm like, Loose Meat sounds disgusting. Oh, honey, what do you want to eat tonight? I don't know.
Like,
let's go get some loose meat sandwiches.
Like the key ingredient in like dog food or something.
Yeah. Did you get the Alpo?
Like the
Make sure you get the cheap shit because we're serving loose meat to the masses.
The dog's like.
I just picture like loose meat. The commercial would be like, even though it never went anywhere, the commercial would be like, guy pick up a sandwich and the entire sandwich just comes out.
Like,
and hands on his lap.
Is a sloppy Joe too refined?
Yeah.
Are you sick and tired of those hoity-toity sloppy Joes?
Solid patties that don't come out of your bread and turns into a spongy, gooey mess. Come on down to Roseanne's loose meat sandwiches. Fuck. At that point, that show was already ruined. She's a fucking nut. Do you know? Okay, my favorite thing is to this day, she still claims that. Do you remember? Okay, so Roseanne, the show comes back, and I actually watched it. I thought it was pretty good.
Okay.
Even though she was like claimed like in the first episode, she says "Making America Great" or something.
Right.
But they don't mention Trump. It was really weird. Very bizarre lady. She said she was like this, like...
I think she's...
She always was like this very leftist, I would say more of a Green Party person.
Yeah.
And then she backs Trump, so she already lost her fucking mind at that point.
Right,
I'm sorry, you don't go from like A to Z. Like you don't go from... oranges to plywood.
I think there's some people that are just...
bleach.
Some people are just contrary. You know, they don't have a belief as much as they have a feeling. And I think that, like, look, even though their political positions are very, very different, I'll bet you there are some people that voted for Ross Perot and Ralph Nader and Donald Trump. Yeah. Even though Nader and Trump are very different. Like, I'll bet you there's a type of person that...
The person who... The magical person who's like, oh, Bernie lost, I'm going to go vote for Trump now.
And I'll bet you they eat loose meat sandwiches.
That's like their dietary supplement. They're like, honey, do you have my loose meat sandwich? Yeah, it's in
Make America loose again.
It's in the bag. Here's your spoon. You're going to need a spoon to eat your loose meat sandwich.
Make loose again.
Yeah, ew. So she was famous recently for calling someone, making a Planet 8 reference to the former Obama. Yeah. Right. She claimed she wasn't being racist. She was on sleeping pills or Ambien. And I remember Ambien like tweeted after.
Right.
Ambien does not make you racist.
Yeah, right? Look, I've taken Ambien, all right? I wasn't out like burning crosses.
Tom Arnold was pretty funny too about it. He came out making fun of her. Okay, back to Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes.
So, I mean, except for like True Lies.
Right.
I mean... And then he does, like, Batman Robin and that movie.
Yeah.
That movie, like, hey, we're casting him as Mr. Freeze. The problem is, and it's like the same thing with Terminator 2.
Yeah.
In Terminator, he's the bad guy.
Right.
He's a heel.
Yes.
But he does a bunch of action movies, and he's, like, baby-faced.
Yeah.
And he refuses to go back. So when they cast him, and in Terminator 2... I know we were just talking about this on the podcast, and I didn't know this till years later, that the marketing ruined what should have been the biggest surprise Terminator 2, was that Arnold was a good guy.
I did not know that, yeah.
But you knew that when you went to the movie, you knew he was a good. He was going to be a good Terminator.
And
right?
if you would, well, you asked me before we started recording, and I swore I was like, no, Arnold Schwarzenegger was almost immediately portrayed as a good guy in the film, and you told me no.
And I didn't know this either. They said that like one of the biggest things, and I think even James Cameron was interviewed or whatever. It's like marketing ruining a movie.
Yeah,
was that, and even Arnold probably too. It's like he doesn't want to be. At this point in his career and where he is and his aspirations,
sure,
he's hanging out with Herbert Walker Bush at this point.
Yeah,
he's married to
Maria
Kennedy.
Shriver.
Yeah,
yep.
He wants to be a good guy. He's
not
a bad guy.
Right.
He's like, no, I'm not a bad guy. I'm a good guy. That's a very good Arnold. Arnold was just here, guys.
Mr. Schwarzenegger. Did you see
turns into Watto from Star Wars?
He got another aside. Did you see he got drop kicked like a week ago?
Yeah, someone like came up to him and
what did they ever find out why?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe it was to promote something.
But so he had his transformation
and so that leaked. So I guess in a perfect world, or not a perfect, whatever, in a world where James Cameron got his way, if they marketed the movie, even though it was marketed that there was another Terminator,
right?
I feel like they would have to hide in the marketing. They would have to hide Robert Patrick's character. Because you can't think that there's another. It makes no sense why the two Terminators back,
right?
Because I guess the whole time in the beginning he's like a cop. I don't know. When I'm watching the movie, I never thought of him as like a good guy ever. I always figured he was a bad guy from the beginning.
He seemed like he just had a scowl on his face.
Yeah,
there's no way you could look at. I mean,
like Kyle Reese, you knew was human from the get-go.
Yeah,
there was no hiding that.
Well, there's that great scene in the beginning of the original Terminator where Arnold comes down in that bolt of lightning or whatever, and he looks. I mean, he looks like a human, but he's massive.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's like dynamic and
and he gets up immediately and robotically marches on.
Yeah,
and then the Kyle character swinging in the breeze, and the Kyle guy comes back and he's much slighter and he's in pain getting up and like time travel.
He's a girly man.
Well, yeah, like you can see and that was we talk sometimes about like how movies show things without exposition or dialogue or whatever, and that was like a great thing. You saw how massive and unrelenting Schwarzenegger was and how fragile.
Well, he looked like a normal person.
Yeah,
he looked like a guy who could probably handle himself in a bar fight, but Arnold's like a circus freak.
Oh yeah.
No offense, Arnold.
Right. Well, okay, so
don't kill me.
Yeah, and I guess getting back to your original point, by the time Arnold Schwarzenegger was in Batman and Robin, he was playing Arnold Schwarzenegger
as Mr. Freeze.
And
even in the end of that horrible movie,
right?
They have his character kind of turn, and he helps Batman out. And I was like,
"Oh, yeah, that's right."
Fucking lame. Because the whole thing was that they tried to make it. They wanted you to make you feel sympathy for him from the beginning, because the story of Mr. Freeze is that his wife was like dying or something. And she's like permanently frozen.
I vaguely remember this.
And like Nora, I think her name is, whatever.
Right.
And he gets fucking iced or something, and he turns into like a. And man, when they show the back, like they had video footage of him falling, like turning into Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
In Batman Robin. By God, that is the funniest scene in the whole movie.
I don't remember
it's
that.
like that we have this footage of Victor Freeze, and he's just like, and it's so bad. Like, I'm like, that movie was complete garbage. I'm sure they were hoping. Who knows? They paid a shit ton to get him.
I'll bet.
Movie.
Yeah.
The movie was a fucking mess. He looked like he was in that horrible like Broadway play. The one that I always make this reference.
Oh, the Spider-Man Take Back the Night.
No, you keep saying that every time too.
Oh.
This is like the '80s. It's like they're on roller skates and they're all like it's like lights. Yeah. It's like supposed to be the future. I don't know what they're supposed to be robots. I don't know what the fuck it is, but that's what it always looked like to me.
Huh.
So yeah, like he peaked at Terminator 2 is his like. I remember him coming out on Arsenio, and he comes out as the Terminator, and it was like a cultural event. They had the Guns N' Roses
It
song.
was a big deal, yeah.
He's in the Guns N' Roses video.
Yep. Yeah.
I remember when they released do you remember the first trailer for Terminator? When they show the Terminators getting made, and then like he comes out, and it's like that's the trailer. It's just a little teaser trailer. It came out like a year, maybe a full year before Terminator 2 came out. It's like the summer before.
Right.
Now these days, I feel like they used to release trailers like a year before.
Right.
And you would like have to wait. Like I remember going to see Spider-Man in the theater, and they showed like a trailer for the Hulk.
Oh,
The horrible Eric Bana one.
Right,
At
right.
the time, it was like, holy shit, this is gonna be a Hulk movie. And you're going to have to wait a whole fucking
Yeah,
year.
yeah. And, gosh, a side effect of that was often, it seemed, and maybe I'm misremembering this, but it seemed like they would show a trailer, and then the film wouldn't even include parts of the trailer in it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
yeah. I mean, now they'll like CGI things and change things in trailers, but they would make literally a marketing package almost. Like, that literally had no scenes from the movie. We got an idea, but nothing was probably shot yet. It's too early stage.
Right.
Again, it's like everything's like practical, but the big thing about Terminator 2 was like the big CGI effect. Like
it was amazing.
And I feel like it still to this day holds up.
Oh yeah, the Robert Patrick morphing.
Yeah,
kind of
it
scene.
still holds up. That shit's like.
It really does.
The way James Cameron knows how to make a movie, and the lighting and everything's like perfect. And I mean, again, I haven't seen it in a while. I just watched Terminator the other night. I feel I have like Terminator 2 fresh in my mind, but even like you forget. I'm sure if I watched it in HD, I'd be like other. I mean, it's like the one thing going into that movie they perfected was like liquid metal.
Yes.
And like, was this? Did the black and white video from Michael Jackson come out yet? Because that video is famous for having the morphing scene where all the people turn into each other.
I want to say...
And that's pretty well done, too.
I want to say that the Michael Jackson video was after Terminator 2. I wouldn't swear to it, but...
Yeah, because you start seeing some pretty cheesy effects after that.
Right.
Do you remember Lawnmower Man?
Yes, with Pierce Brosnan, right?
That's a bad movie. Do you remember, like, the CGI in that? Like, I remember as a kid, like...
Yeah.
Not a kid, but did it come out before? I think it came out after Terminator.
That was a terrible movie.
Well, it was like, it was not well.
Well, it was. I remember that's one of those. It was based on a Stephen King short story.
Yeah.
And the movie had nothing
but
to
it's
do.
Flowers of Algernon.
Yeah.
Like make somebody smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, they make a guy smart, and then he ends up becoming like a crazy god in the end.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so Terminator 2. It's funny. It's funny that you said that because it was such a huge, big event movie, and
a big touchstone on like how movies are made.
Yeah.
CGI, the story, everything. You know.
But if you compare Terminator, Edward Furlong. If you compared Terminator 1 to Terminator 2, I think in a lot of ways, and I'm not saying this just because James Cameron was involved, but it reminded me a lot of the parallels between Alien and Aliens, because Alien and Terminator were both pretty lo-fi. Not low. They weren't low.
Alien was a bigger budget movie,
yeah, but they
definitely.
were like very few sets.
There's one Alien.
Right.
There's one Alien. Yeah, it's fewer sets.
And it's basically like a chase movie. Like Alien is basically a haunted house movie.
Yeah.
You know, and Terminator is basically a chase movie.
Yeah.
You know, with other accoutrements with it.
Yeah.
But Aliens, and
It's a
Terminator
war
2
movie.
were big. Yeah, Aliens.
And that was why Alien 3 was considered a disappointment, because people wanted... It's like you do Aliens, and it's like you got to follow up Aliens, and then
how you gonna
it took
do that?
forever, and they almost like went back and did Alien instead.
Right. They did, yeah.
And I didn't hate it. At the time, I was a little disappointed.
It was fine.
It was fine. It's okay.
But Aliens is so good.
Aliens is amazing.
Yeah.
And it's so different from Alien, just like the way Terminator 2 is like awesome.
But it's so different than Terminator.
But it's not much. It still follows the same hallway scene, like when Linda Hamilton's character at this point is she's committed.
Well, the first time you see her, she's like a badass. I mean,
she's committed though.
Yeah, like
she's
literally
in a mental institution,
but she's strong. You look
she's
at her,
strong.
she's strong.
Yeah, that was like the big thing. Like she gets all buff. That was like the big thing from her in this one versus like the first one where she's
she's a waitress in the first one, just like
she's a lady.
Yeah, well, that was like a big deal back then.
She's an American Gladiator.
You're right. That was a big deal back then because like women weren't portrayed like that. They even talk about that in the new Terminator trailer. They don't talk about it in the trailer.
I think it's so funny because it's like you already had the movie Aliens come out. You had that movie
Yeah.
Alien. Alien, like, fine. I wouldn't say she's like a real badass in the end.
No,
in that
she's
one.
just a survivor.
She's a survivor, but Aliens, she's a fucking badass.
Oh, yeah,
that movie came out in 1986.
That's amazing.
So
yeah.
I know, like, a lot of people were like shitting on. Like, one of the arguments I remember when Captain Marvel came out, everybody was like,
yeah.
Again, I blame Disney for this marketing, and you know they want to make it like this is a big event. It's like,
Yeah.
no, there's been movies with women as the lead before.
Sure.
This is not that big of a fucking deal.
No, but it was like
for Marvel,
Right.
Because they took them 20 fucking movies to get a woman role. That's the head. That's complete. That's their fault.
Well, they struck gold with the Avengers. I talked to there's a political,
Well, I'm not going to that.
Right.
I'm just saying though, you had these very strong roles already. You already had, like I said, Sigourney Weaver as an alien. She's not a victim. She's not
Right.
a damsel in distress. She is the ass kicker.
I remember Demi Moore and G.I. Jane. That was around that time.
That came out like 95.
Oh, was that much later?
Yeah, that's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no.
Wow. All right, well, never mind. Forget about that one.
But again, Linda Hamilton, big deal. Again, she's a badass.
Yep.
I think James Cameron just had a thing for strong ladies, and I'm not talking about I think
right,
like my hope in them. I think he just has a thing.
I think it's funny that
He
you
probably
say that.
watches those videos of women that like they're not bodybuilders, but he was married to what's her face at Hurt Locker.
Oh,
She did that famous vampire movie in the '80s with Bill Paxton.
Yeah,
I love that. Near Dark. It's like one of my favorites.
That was a
It has
great
Lance
movie.
Henriksen in it.
Yeah.
It has Bill Paxton in it.
Uh-huh.
And those are all like standby. Like they're
Right,
all
right.
like they're like the cast of Aliens. Like they went to go shoot Terminator, and then they did Near Dark, and then they went to go
Near
shoot
Dark
Aliens.
was great.
That's a great movie. Yeah. So,
but you're right. He does look. There's a difference between like feminist roles and roles that like I don't know. I mean, it's hard. I know what you mean. It's not like that Linda Hamilton was necessarily played as a feminist hero or anything, although she might have been. But I think James Cameron just liked that thing.
no, I mean, hey, whatever. I mean, she's a fucking badass. She's insane. John really wants nothing to do with her in the movie.
Right.
He's like, she had me hang out with like insane people.
Well,
hang out with basically mercenaries and fucking.
Well, imagine he had never seen any of that stuff.
He's a Foster kid in the beginning. He's hanging out with that mullet kid from Salute Your Shorts.
Yeah,
and he was also Sam from Different Strokes.
Yes.
So he's hanging out with a bad crowd.
Right.
That
Budrick.
Yeah, that kid. He was in a band called Bad for Good.
Oh, but did he? Was he the one who joined the Dead Kennedys, or am I thinking of the courtship of Eddie's father?
I think you're thinking of something totally different. No, he did not. He was like a metalhead.
Okay, and there was a child actor that fronts the Dead Kennedys without Jello Biafra.
I don't think that's him.
Yeah,
no.
it's probably not. Anyway,
he was in Salute Your Shorts.
Yeah,
and he had a mullet. And he was a redhead. And he's his friend in the beginning, and he's like little shit.
Yeah,
and they're playing like Guns N' Roses in the beginning. But whatever.
Right.
But he wants like nothing. He wants nothing to do with
Sam.
He wants nothing to do with his mom. But they have to go save her.
But it makes sense. I mean, he has no proof or evidence that any of this shit she's saying is real.
Right. Well, she tells him from day one that he's being told, no, you're, going to be the Jesus of the future.
Yeah. Well,
your dad literally came from the future and knocked me up.
Yeah. She
died
presents
that night
as a classic schizophrenic. She really
paranoid
does.
lunatic.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And it makes sense. It's is it I've always loved, that scene when she's looking, she sees a vision of the future, and she's looking at, she's in a park or whatever.
Yeah,
You see the kids playing.
Right,
and then the start coming down, and she's screaming at the fence, and then she gets incinerated. Everyone's incinerated. It's fucking scary as shit. It's that's her vision. And
she does get these visions.
Yeah, and have you ever seen the original ending? They cut it out. One thing about James Cameron movies they're, especially his older ones, they're a treasure trove for alternate cuts and scenes that get, Aliens had some famous ones. I never even seen it, like where you find out what happened to Newt's parents.
Oh,
there's like a whole scene and it's cut out. Abyss is famous for like having the world.
Yes,
it basically gets fucking flooded. It's like 40 minutes.
I heard about that.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Another one is Terminator. Has a shit ton of stuff cut out. A ton of stuff is cut out. I finally saw it when I got the DVD. And I was like blown away by some of it. I heard about one for years. It's the alternate ending because in the end of the movie it still ends with where after they defeat the T-1000 and the T-800 or whatever the fuck it is. When he gives thumbs up and
Schwarzenegger was the T-800, I believe, in the original.
And Robert Patrick's the T-1000, right?
Yes.
So he was already obsolete. So it's almost kind of funny. It's like he is Kyle Reese because the T-1000 is like pretty much unfucking stoppable.
Right.
Nothing's. I mean, they blow him up and it stops.
He just reformulates.
And so that one scene that's awesome with the nitroglycerin truck explodes.
Oh, yeah.
And he like freezes up.
Right.
And eventually he melts.
Yeah.
Like this, some heat comes and then he...
Yeah, I think my favorite was when he got like split in two and he comes back together. Yeah, I mean, there's some great scenes.
Yeah, some of it's practical, some of it's computer.
Sure.
It's amazing looking, even today. But the original ending is, like I said, it's like she's in the park now in the future.
Yeah.
And it's really bad. I mean, there's a reason why they cut... Well, like, it's her as an old lady, and she's kind of talking on like a tape. John Connor is a senator now.
Okay.
Because in the beginning of Terminator 2, you see the future, and I think you see an older John Connor, and he's got like scars.
Right.
And he's like leading an army. So they show... It's a bigger budget movie. Better special effects, so they show more of the future.
Right, yeah.
And the old one, you just see like the tank and it's close to the model crushing, and you just see some lasers and stuff.
It was really effective, but yes, it was very short. It was very.
And Terminator 2, you see a full-on battle. You see the Terminators. You see them crushing skulls.
Well, you see an army of them, like in a video game or something.
Yeah, it's a bigger. So it's kind of cool in that. I guess they cut it out for probably multiple reasons. The original ending. One, it's corny as fuck.
Right.
It just doesn't look good. And the other one is, like, it kills, like, the chance of them ever making a third one. Because it's like, you're basically saying they stop Skynet completely. And now John will be a senator.
Right.
And everybody will dress up like the way people were dressed in the future in Bill and Ted.
Oh, nice.
So remember the original Bill and Ted, how everybody was dressed? Right. That's how everybody was kind of dressed in this future.
Yeah.
The year is 2003. I always love when you watch something from like 1990, like even 1991, or like I said, I was watching Terminator Salvation, and because it follows the timeline. It's supposed to be. It's funny, and I was trying to explain this to Roger, and he's just like my son.
Right. Well, he's 8. Like our kids
I'm trying to explain this to him, and I won't let him watch Terminator yet because I don't want him to have an imprint of Arnold's dong on his mind.
Yeah, Terminator was a different...
It's a more brutal movie.
Are the other ones PG-13?
I don't think so. I think Terminator 2 is rated R.
Okay.
It's not as aggressive as the first one.
Right.
First one, I almost would say you can almost classify as a horror film.
Yeah.
Even though it's like an action movie, it couldn't be considered sci-fi horror. The
Yeah.
second one is definitely still violent.
More action,
It's not. It's rated R, but it's not as like brutal as the first one, even though like it becomes more like sci-fi fantasy violence.
Yeah,
they call it.
Just off the top, well, Terminator 1 seemed real gritty, like
low budget.
Yeah, like real.
Yeah,
you know, like when like a lot more practical effects, a lot more like violence that you could imagine actually happening.
Yeah,
like in Terminator 2. Even a little kid's going to look at that and say, well, clearly humans or people don't split into two and freeze and come back.
It's more fantastic.
Yeah, it's more fantastic.
So, like, Terminator Salvation, I'm watching that. The movie came out in 2008, which it's like crazy. I'm like, oh my god, this movie.
Yeah.
Or maybe it came out in 2009. Regardless, the movie's 10 years old.
Sure.
And in the beginning of the movie, it says it's 2018.
Wow.
And I'm trying to explain this to Roger. I'm like, well, this is technically the past.
Right.
This is the past of a future, but this future never happened. And my son's just like, what? I'm trying to explain this to him. I'm like, don't worry, just watch the movie.
Yeah.
But I just found it funny, though, that, like, Terminator 1 begins, in the beginning of the movie, it's 2029.
Right.
We're 2019. So in 10 years from now.
That's the first moment we see in Terminator. Yeah.
It's
10 years from
2029.
now.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you think that could still happen?
No.
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised where we're going.
Look, I mean, I think that, and I guess I talked a little bit about it earlier, is I think Terminator, this is no knock on it, it just fundamentally didn't correctly predict how the future is going to look. You know, I mean, like, the future, like, look, would robots create smaller humanoid robots and arm them with handguns to go hunt people? No. They'd poison the water supply or something. I mean, like, there'd be, like, different ways.
Time to eat a McGriddle.
Yeah, right.
Fucking eat something.
Yeah, they would invent a streaming service to make us, like, very sedentary, and then we least expect.
Well, that was a fun. Okay, now speaking of the worst movie ever made, there, I consider this the worst movie ever made. I know people will say that, like, no, The Room is, or they'll mention something else. They'll mention something with a low budget. I always say this. I have a very, very big. And then you're probably like, I always see this.
Yeah.
Who do I say this to? I'm saying this to you guys right now. I have a rule when it comes to how I view movies.
Okay.
And how I judge movies. I know what's his face spent a lot of money on The Room, his own money.
Yeah, Tommy Weiss now or whatever his name is. Yeah,
spent like $5 million to make this garbage
movie.
Right,
I heard he's really like a 70-year-old man from Romania or something.
Who knows? Yeah, that was like always the joke. Yeah, he's a lot older than he says he is.
Sure.
He's like a bizarre mystery man.
Even
though I wouldn't be surprised if the whole thing is a ruse. And he's like
Andy Kaufman, you dog.
I don't know. The movie got built up by like... The movie came out, and then all of a sudden it became this big cult hit, and like all these like actors were like pushing it. It's almost like he's like the Banksy of like of actors. Not to say that Banksy's like The Room, but like I feel like who the fuck knows?
Right.
I don't know.
Okay, so your number one rule with movies
is that if the movie costs $200 million and it's a piece of shit, it should be treated much graver, much harsher than a movie that costs like $5 or $1.
Right, I agree.
Like, I'm sorry, it's just it's a totally different view. Like, you had it.
With
I would say
great budget comes great responsibility.
Pretty much,
yeah.
But I would say that I almost consider Genesis as if Tommy Wiseau was given $200 million to make a movie.
Right.
Because it is garbage. And the people who I don't even understand the movie. It like came out 4 years. I think it came out 2016. And I just remember like talking about this, and like their plan was they recasted Linda Hamilton's character with the woman from Game of Thrones who plays Dany.
Yes.
And if you were to say what modern day actress would you pick to play Linda Hamilton,
it would not be her.
No. Yeah. And then they casted the guy who was he played Boomerang in Suicide Squad. And he was in like one of the Die Hard movies. And again, if you said, who would you cast in modern day to cast as Michael Bihn's character?
Yeah,
he's the last fucking person on earth. I would cast Ozzie Davis before him. And he's been dead for years.
What about the guy who played Ozzy in The Dirt? I
would cast him
way
before I would cast this. Yes, he would be actually way more believable as Michael Biehn. It is a piece of shit. Now Arnold's in it. He's he's done with politics, so Arnold's back in the mix. He's fine in this movie.
Is this
he's
the best part? Female Terminator?
It's Terminator 3.
Okay, I'm missing
Genesis
all these.
is a fucking mess. The movie begins with, and it's kind of funny when you brought up the whole why didn't Skynet just send different things?
Yeah.
So the movie now begins with where everything is rewritten. Skynet now says, fuck it, we're going to send somebody back to kill. We're going to send somebody back to kill Linda Hamilton when she's a little kid.
Okay, sure. That's actually a pretty good plan.
And then they send a Terminator back to save her.
The humans send a Terminator back naturally.
To save her.
Right.
So that's how the movie begins. And then the movie then fast forward. It's a mess. Like, it's in the future.
Yeah. See, that's the problem
with
this
They
whole
show John
premise.
Connor, and they have an actor he was in like the second new Planet of the Apes movies. You see him in other things. Okay. And then one of the guys working for Sky with the guys is the Doctor Who. The one that looks like he's like the one everyone loved.
David Tennant?
No, the one after
Ben, the kid.
He looked
right?
like a gross, weird Frankenstein monster.
Oh.
He looked. Yeah, he was the one before
the older guy, or the
no, before the older guy.
The real young kid.
I wouldn't say he was young.
Matt Smith, is it? Or?
He wasn't that young. He was younger.
Right,
no,
yeah,
well,
compared to Peter Capaldi. He was
I thought that was interesting that they were like...
He was great.
Yeah, I thought he was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was great casting. I hate Doctor Who.
I'm
kidding. No, I don't hate it.
Doctor Who is one of those... I'll only say this for 30 seconds. Doctor Who is one of those things I always really, really, really want to like, and I watch it, and I appreciate it for what it is, but I just can't.
I try. I really do. The episodes take forever.
They do.
And the pacing's always... Doctor Who... Get this out of the way.
Yeah.
Doctor Who. I
remember 2 minutes of bad-mouthing Doctor Who.
No, there's nothing wrong with Doctor Who. It's fine. Whatever. I want to appreciate it more, just like you said. I do, and it's just like I remember growing up, Doctor Who was the guy with the scarf.
Tom Baker,
right? Even though there were like 8 other ones before him, supposedly.
Right? No, but he was the one that we saw on TV.
Right?
That was
at the time.
Yeah.
Guy with the fro.
Yes.
He was a famous one.
Oh, he was delightful.
I remember as a kid, even in like high school, on like a social acceptability thing was that Star Wars was cool,
right?
And you're already starting getting to become a geek.
Yes,
but Star Wars is cool. Star Trek, you're a dork,
right?
Doctor Who, you're a fucking nerd.
Yeah,
no one wants that. There's like your circle of friends is getting smaller and smaller. You need like the giant weird VCR tape they used in England.
Yeah,
you have to go buy
it PAL format.
You have to, with a special plug.
Yeah,
like you need like their videotapes were like the size of like a giant book, like a coffee table book, and I just remember then many years later, I knew it came back, like David Tennant, but it starts getting really big around the time that guy before Peter Capaldi.
Yeah, but it was Matt Smith.
Yeah, it's Matt Smith.
I think it was.
When he's Doctor Who, that's when it starts to get really trendy.
Yes.
Everybody all of a sudden loves Doctor Who.
Right.
Where you're like, or everyone pretends to like it. Everyone pretends to like it, and I remember telling people, and they probably thought I was an ass for saying this, but it's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, you were a fucking outcast if you like Doctor Who. Like if you were like you could appreciate it in the shadows.
Right. Yeah.
In the closet. You know? Doctor Who.
I'll tell you, I used to watch it on PBS, I think, or whatever channel it was. And I the Tom Baker episodes I kind of liked.
Didn't it drive you nuts though? The one thing I always knew I was watching something from England. I picked this up as a little kid, not because of even the British accents. I picked that up too. There was something with British TV at the time. Whenever they would do an indoor shot versus an outdoor shot, the footage would just get so different. They could not like.
I know this isn't it, but it was like going from film to video. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you had like cheesy soap opera set.
Yes.
To like grainy fucking like
it was,
somebody shot it with their like making a stag film.
Right.
Like it was. It used to drive me nuts. I was like, I'm watching some fucking shit from England. This is bullshit.
I always suspect.
Sorry,
that
I'm not taking England.
When
I was a kid.
A good percentage of the people that like Doctor Who are really trying hard to like Doctor Who. You know, and I
stop pretending.
You
like
shouldn't
Doctor
have
Who.
to work. I get meeting art halfway. Like I think personally, this is kind of devolving now, but I think good art will challenge you to some extent, and you'll have to like reconcile some things, and you have to meet the art halfway.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to travel all the way over to you. You got to travel to it.
It's going to do some things you don't like sometimes.
Exactly. It's art, and I've thought this for like a year or two now. I think art is confrontational in a sense. You know, it forces you to confront things.
Right.
So, but like Doctor Who isn't meeting me halfway. Doctor Who wants me to go like 90% of the way to it. And Doctor Who, like, begrudgingly takes a few steps to me every couple years. But, like, I don't know, man. That's
I tried. I tried watching, like, the new one with
the woman.
And she's fine.
She's good, yeah.
It's fucking Doctor Who, though. I will say, though, the ones I was really into were the Peter Capaldi ones.
I agree.
I thought he was great.
He was that look, it's And the first reboot of Doctor Who had, I forget the guy's name, but he's been on a bunch of stuff. He was on that show Heroes briefly.
Yeah, that guy. He was in The Leftovers.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a great actor.
But he played a super angry Doctor Who. And then like David Tennant played a super whimsical Doctor Who.
And he's great in a lot of things. He's
Yeah.
Broadchurch.
I like Broadchurch first season. Oh yeah, Mr. Purple.
I never watched that. Jessica Jones.
Yep. He's Mr. Purple.
He was in a show recently on HBO with like married couples. They go like camping. I forgot the name. It has Jennifer Garner in it. He plays her husband. I didn't even realize it was him.
Yeah,
because he just like looked
I always
totally
liked
different.
Jennifer Garner. But then like
Can't say you like her in this show.
But then the Peter Capaldi one was like the perfect balance of a little bit angry, a little bit crazy, a little bit whimsical. I think it's just
the actor is the ability to carry something.
Yeah, he's got some heft behind him, some weight.
He can there's something about him. He could like speed it up. I don't know. I tried okay. I don't even know what the hell. What were we talking about?
Well, we're on the Terminators.
Oh yeah, the Terminator Genesis, because Matt Smith's in it.
Oh, okay.
For like a second, and it's revealed later that he is Skynet.
Oh, like
he's Skynet.
Person,
he was pretending to be a person working with John Connor. He is Skynet.
Skynet.
So you find out,
look at you,
and then he like abducts John Connor in the future. Okay, so this is where it gets even more down. So now the movie begins. They literally recreate the 80s intro to Terminator.
Oh.
Where they get, they CGI Arnold.
Okay.
They recreate the whole thing.
Right.
But then, what happens is, Arnold that came back 10 years earlier, that saved Sarah Connor, destroys him immediately.
Jeez.
Okay. So, Terminator 1984 doesn't exist anymore. The shitty movie killed Terminator.
Oh, that's
that's
kind of a clever idea,
so
but
then Reese,
I don't like it.
Reese, his name's Reese, right? Kyle Reese.
Yes.
So John Connor's baby daddy.
Right.
Comes back. He still comes back too.
Yeah.
Because this future still sends him back, even though the things have changed.
Right.
And and then you find out there's another Terminator sent back, who's kind of like a T-1000. And then a truck pulls up to get Kyle Reese, who, like I said, this actor who looks nothing like him and doesn't have his charisma or anything.
Sure.
A truck pulls up and Danny from Game of Thrones opens the door and says, "Come with me if you want to live."
Yeah, recreating the line.
But in a different scenario. And then they do stuff. A bunch of stuff happens.
Right. Sure.
Yeah. As it does. And they have to travel in time to 2019. Something happens to she basically calls the Terminator that saved her as a kid Pops. Okay. So he's like a good guy Terminator. No, like I said, he's the best part of the movie. Because Arnold knows how to play this character.
Yeah.
And he's the only one who could act in this movie, which is
that's something.
Well, he's gotten better over the years. He pretended to be governor for 6 years. He could pretend to...
Did you see that Maggie movie he did where he was the father of the zombie?
It was interesting. It's
interesting, yeah.
He's not in it that much. The movie where the girl is slowly becoming a zombie.
Right, like over the course of 18 years or something.
Right, yeah. It's like a weird metaphor for teenagers.
Yeah.
Fucking kid's a zombie now. Right. I know she wasn't.
That's a movie that should be made. Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So... something happens, and they're going to time travel. I don't know how they have the device. They're going to we're going to go to 2019.
Right.
Because that's where John Connor is.
Yes.
Which doesn't make... I don't remember any of this. Yeah. I forgot 90% of this movie. So, Arnold's character is well, I'm going to have to do it the long way. Because my arm got damaged. That's another reason why, I guess, mechanical... that's why they come back naked.
Okay.
So the Terminators are covered in organic material.
Right.
That's why they can go back in time. But because his arm is exposed, he can't time travel. That's why you travel naked to the future or the past.
Because your skin...
of course, you're organic. I guess it's almost like a fly, like the fly. When he
Bumblefly.
The dimensional fly was in there. So it fucked everything up. Maybe something who the fuck knows? Maybe you come back as a jelly. Regardless, you can't time travel unless you're buff naked.
Okay, sure.
So Arnold's like, and the funny, they explain this too, because at this point now, because in Terminator 2 takes place like 7 years after the first Terminator, so Arnold's still looking buff.
Oh yeah.
He's not as brawny.
No.
But he doesn't look like an old man. By the time Terminator 3 comes out, it comes out 12 years later.
Yeah.
He's already, like, they're shooting from when he comes back in time. I think they might have used a body double, and they're shooting from the neck down.
Yeah.
They're not shooting his full body.
Right.
He's already, like, yeah, there was, like, I remember a picture leaked on the internet of what he looked like at the time on the beach.
Yeah.
It wasn't very flattering.
Right, I remember that photograph.
Yeah.
Like the gut.
Yeah. And I'm always like, is that a doctored photo?
Yeah, I don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows?
It's like that. Remember that Sarah Palin picture that went around the internet with her in a bikini holding a
Oh,
gun?
yeah.
And it looked so
It
real.
really
It was
did.
totally photoshopped.
Yeah, I remember that.
I like to think, though, that was real.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of like what she comes off as. So,
Right.
Right.
It doesn't seem far-fetched, right?
So they have to go to the future. So dumb. And Arnold's like, I'll see you there later. And they explain that he looks old because the skin gets old.
Okay.
But
That tracks. I mean, sure.
kind of. But does metal bones have osteoporosis too?
Well, it's just weird.
Because people shrink as they get older.
Yeah.
And we'll ignore that. But they find that was like a good save. They're like,
Sure.
listen, the organic material in the Terminator
Yeah.
gets older. So then they travel to now, the present.
Right.
And Arnold meets up with them. He's been like doing menial construction
Sure.
jobs over the time.
Yeah.
He's just a guy, he's just a dude, keeping it to himself for the past 30 fucking years. It's like, you watch Futurama? When,
Yeah.
like, Bender
Not
would-
like all of them, but yes.
Like Bender, like they would time travel and Bender would be like, I'm gonna have to do it the long way. And he just like,
Oh,
they pull him
yeah.
out of the dirt like 1,000
Right.
years later. He's just sitting in the dirt. It's like, finally, you guys showed up. It's like, it's kind of what reminded me of Futurama. Or like
Yeah,
Bender,
that's funny.
Yeah. Except not as fun.
Right, yeah.
The Terminator says, bite my shiny metal ass.
Right.
Bite my shiny metal ass. And then John Connor's there for some reason
Okay.
now, and they're making an app, which again, it's like there's some good ideas here.
Yeah, but that's
it's
all
not
it is.
well made. It's like I said, it's like it was made by some production company that I'm not sure never made a movie before. Someone gave them $200 million, and they got people who kind of knew how to make things.
Right.
Like the effects, they weren't terrible, but they didn't look much better than what I saw in 1991.
Yeah.
There is some cool effects. So it's revealed that the John Connor now, well, first of all, when he sees his mom, who's played by,
Yeah.
he goes, hello, mother.
Oh, jeez.
Just super dumb. So you realize he went back in time. So John Connor sent back, and he's trying to create an app with the son of the guy who was killed in Terminator 2.
The Skynet.
Yeah, remember you're
originator,
introduced to him. He has a
Yes.
family and the kid, and he's like,
Oh, yeah,
that
yeah.
scene when they go to the house and they're gonna kill him.
That was a great
Yeah, that's
scene.
a really good
like,
scene.
Yeah.
Linda Hamilton's gonna kill him,
Right.
and then even the Terminator's like, "Whoa, calm down.
Yeah.
I'm a Terminator.
Yeah.
Even I
Even
would-
I'm a little morally ambiguous
yeah,
here.
like even I. Hey, listen
Right.
here, lady. I'm a ruthless, murdering metal machine.
Yeah.
You're out of hand.
Right.
You need to chill. So he's making the app with John Connor.
Okay.
It makes no sense. Why is John Connor there? You find out John Connor is a Terminator.
Wait a minute, what?
Yeah, exactly. So in the beginning of the movie, before Kyle Reese is sent back in time,
Okay.
because they're trying to send Kyle Reese to this, it's supposed to be like the intro.
Sure.
Matt Smith's character does something, so it's revealed that he wasn't a normal human.
Oh.
He like does something to John Connor. And
Sure.
John Connor is no longer John Connor.
John Connor.
He is like a weird Terminator. Like it's like involves magnets. No, the Juggalos don't show up.
Right.
There's no ICP doesn't show
How do
up.
they work?
Yeah, that's what I thought when I watched this movie.
Yeah.
I was like, I think those ICP
Yeah.
guys are onto something.
Right?
Yeah, they're like Fago, like whoop whoop.
Yeah. Well, look. I mean, okay. Yeah. The Magnet song, whatever it's called, it's like not the worst song I've ever heard. But yes.
Okay, regardless.
Yep.
It's really bad. The movie's shit. They kill John Connor. It's almost like there was like a failed attempt to try to like, okay, we're gonna like listen, we're gonna like remove the element of John Connor, because the whole idea was they were gonna do like a trilogy of these movies.
Yeah,
and we're gonna like get rid of John Connor in this first movie. So these Terminator movies, we're not beholden to having John Connor as the central point of these stories anymore. He's like no longer John Connor at this point. Mm-hmm. He's like he's a weird abomination Terminator. That's actually kind of a cool effect. Whatever the hell they did to him, he's like some weird Woolly Willy Terminator.
Oh, okay.
Willy?
Sure.
Like,
the little magnetic.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of, Woolly Willy. Oh. And
okay.
I recommend watching this movie because it's bad.
Well, look, that's the problem.
You should watch this movie
because it's bad.
Because it's bad. You might actually enjoy it.
I think the problem with the Terminator series is that one is a near perfect movie for what it is. For what it is. I mean, it's like
and they take their time to make a second one.
Yes.
I mean, you don't get one for like 7 or 8 years.
And the second one makes perfect sense, right. And the logic continues, and it fits into the worldview. But like the way I
don't hate Terminator 3.
Well, the way they built the world is it becomes real unsustainable very quickly. Like,
well, even though you got the Skynet. Well, let me just finish Genesis real fast.
Yeah.
So they defeat. First of all, they make this shitty app, and they're going to get everybody to down. So this is how Skynet. Right. This is how Skynet's going to go get about. Is that everybody's going to download an app on their phone,
right?
And like they're going to download the update, and when everyone in the universe, everyone on the planet downloads the update to this shitty looking app.
Yeah.
That, like I was like watching, I'm like, at least make the app look better.
Right.
That's when how Skynet launches.
Yeah.
Which is actually not
It's not terrible, yeah.
It's like, for the time and everything, it makes total sense. It's like, oh yeah, I get it. Mm-hmm. Like, that's actually not that crazy of an idea.
No.
Well,
it probably does make sense.
I don't know, they did like because this was supposed to launch a new franchise, so of course they do the Marvel thing where they have like a little scene in the end.
Yeah.
And you see like Matt Smith's like character, because he is Skynet.
Right.
Which again made no sense.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's weird because like you need a bad guy, right? Like,
yeah.
And the internet is like an ineffective bad guy.
You didn't see Terminator Salvation?
Is that the most recent
one?
one?
Again, that's not the recent one. They came out in 2008. The recent one is Genesis.
I've seen all of these. I've seen all the Terminator movies, but literally like only in the vaguest sense. Like I remember watching the Claire Danes one, but
that's
it was
Terminator 3.
It's the kind of movie where I literally did laundry during it.
Yeah.
I probably took phone calls.
I saw it in the theater.
I didn't see any of them in the theater.
I didn't hate it. I thought it was pretty good. It kind of regurgitates what you already seen already, but it had a great ending because it revealed that like the future, like the big twist is that he was sent there just to make sure John Connor lives.
I remember the Terminator 3 scene. The only one that really kind of captured my interest was they were in a bunker. I think you're right. It was in probably Colorado. And Claire Danes had this slowly dawning realization as to what the real plan was.
Yeah.
And it was very, very kind of moving.
Yeah.
The one with the female Terminator, which one was that?
That's Terminator 3.
Okay, yes. Okay, see, I'm already jumbling these together. Yeah. And then there was Terminator 4.
Terminator Salvation, which was supposed to launch.
Yes.
Another... it had Nick G as the director. I just rewatched it.
That was the one with Christian Bale.
Anton Yelchin as Kyle Reese.
Yes.
Not bad casting for that.
I saw that. Again, at home, I was probably doing laundry and making a frozen pizza. I seriously. And I remember...
the same frozen pizza you made
probably,
in Terminator 3.
And then Genesis...
I'm going to go eat a frozen pizza.
Genesis was the last one, right?
Yeah, which you did not see.
And no, I've not seen that one.
You would remember that one, because that one is...
Is that one? Well, when did that come out?
2016 or 2000? Yeah.
And that's not streaming, and it hasn't been streaming.
It might be on a cable channel somewhere.
I may have seen parts of that.
It's bad. It's just not good. It was supposed to launch again. It was supposed to relaunch. Yeah. It was supposed to like redo everything you knew about Terminator and just start fresh because they killed John Connor.
Right.
They basically like come in and they kill a great movie. They come in and they're like, hey, remember that movie you grew up, did you like, Terminator?
Yeah.
Well, we just killed it because...
See, after Terminator 2, I couldn't watch any of the movies without thinking, why isn't there a Terminator here right now killing people? Like, because that's how time travel works. Like, you can just... Why isn't every moment a new Terminator appearing?
Right, we'll just send another Terminator.
Shooting things,
Yeah.
Or why do you even need to get Sarah Connor? Like, if your goal is to take over the world, why don't you all time travel back and just take over the world a few years earlier?
Terminator 2... So Terminator 1, the whole idea is kill Sarah Connor so you kill the guy who is their biggest threat.
The start of the Resistance, you're right.
That's fine. That
like, one
sense.
human is the... Sure, but
He's
yes,
the
let's
Jesus
assume
of the
that's
future.
true. Yeah. There is a lot of, like Christian-y kind of imagery in these, but go ahead, yeah.
So then Terminator 2, you try to go kill John Connor when he's like 12.
Sure.
Because Terminator 2 takes place in the future. It actually does. It takes place a little bit in the future because John Connor would only be like 7.
Right.
He's like 12. And I think they even say that. It's not supposed to take place in 91. I think it's supposed to take place like 95 or 96.
Well, it's a decidedly different world. Like, Terminator 1 felt dystopian already.
Well, it's the 80s, and it's feel it's dystopian future and dystopian modern or whatever.
It felt like a dystopian version of the real world. And Terminator 2 just felt like the regular world.
Do you remember the therapist in the first one?
The guy
who's like thinks she's nuts?
Right.
The best scene in Terminator, and I totally forgot because he does show up in Terminator 2.
Yeah, doesn't she stab him in the hand or something?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't remember. But he does show up again, that guy. And what's so funny about that scene is that's like when Lance Henriksen and Paul Winfield are like the cops and they're like talking to her and like they know she's being stalked. They're like, listen, we're going to keep you here. We're going to keep you safe. There's 30 cops here. Nothing's going to happen to you. And the therapist guy, the asshole therapist guy, walks out. This lucky bastard walks out as the Terminator walks out.
Yeah.
Terminator's just like, I have no reason to kill you. Like, you just walk by. And then Terminator just fucking kills everybody in the police station. This fucking guy, like, it's awesome.
I didn't remember that, like, in particular, like, before you mentioned it. But
it's
that is
so
funny.
bad. It's so funny. Like, another thing from Terminator Genesis was so bad, they casted, the actor from, like, he played J. Jonah Jameson, he played,
he was in Oz. Yeah.
He's the M&M. He's the peanut M&M.
Right, yes.
That drummer movie where he's, like, abusive to the kid.
Yeah.
That famous.
He's the peanut M&M?
Yeah, he is. He's been doing it for, like, over 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never realized that.
I didn't realize. He was being interviewed. He's like, I've been doing this for, like, forever. And he's also, like, in his insurance commercial. That guy's a great actor. I love that guy.
He is really good.
He's in that movie. And he's in that Terminator Genesis movie. And I think he might be playing... the therapist, or he's playing someone from the police. He's playing someone from the police station, it takes place in 1984, and then it's him now. So I think they have a different actor playing.
Okay, sure.
And he remembers everything. So it's like, even though because in that horrible Terminator Genesis movie, it does take place over like from 1904 to now.
Right.
So Arnold, sits back, and then this guy shows up again too.
Yeah.
All right, you know what? That movie's a piece of shit.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so now the predictions. What are we at?
Well, yeah.
What time are we at?
We're not bad at all. We are an hour and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's keep this short. I mean, what's the prediction for Terminator Dark Fate? Dark Fate.
I think they go.
Now hold on. Do you know anything about it at all?
I don't. Okay. I mean, I've seen the trailer.
So it has been announced.
Okay.
That this is. Just like whenever they do like a new Halloween reboot, or like, listen, all those Halloween movies that came out, those are shit. This is the direct sequel to Halloween 1.
Okay.
So this one is a direct sequel to Terminator 2. Terminator 3 didn't happen. Terminator Salvation didn't happen. Terminator Genesis definitely didn't happen. And the Terminator TV show that the 4 people watched definitely didn't happen either.
So this will be a Linda Hamilton, because Linda Hamilton was only in the first 2, right?
Right. She does not show up. She does a voice thing in Terminator Salvation. Like you hear like a recording of her. So clearly she must have filmed like a new recording.
All right, so it's a direct sequel to Terminator 2.
And Arnold's in it too, even though he was in Genesis as well.
Right.
And he was kind of involved with Salvation.
That's an interesting question. I did not know that about this movie. Look, clearly it seems to me that they saw how well Mad Max Fury Road did.
From the trailer.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it seems like
woman from that TV show, she's like... That lady... She was on like I never watched it. It's supposed to be about like computers being made in the early 80s. She's like a programmer.
Oh, Halt and Catch Fire?
Yeah.
Is that it?
And she's from the episode of Black Mirror where it's about like people in the 80s and she's like a lesbian in it and you find out it's actually like a simulation.
Yes.
She's actually like a really old person.
Sam...
It got
Juniper,
it's
a very famous one.
Yeah, it got an Emmy. It got the most awards. For
Black Mirror. Honestly, I haven't seen that one. It sounds so heartbreaking that I'm kind of afraid to watch it.
It's okay.
Is it? But it's real sad. Sometimes I get a little like emotional.
I would say it's not. I don't know. It's good. It's long. It feels it's
right.
like a movie.
That's what I heard.
That's a really long one.
Okay.
It's good.
San Juniper, something like that. Yeah. All right. What is my prediction
for you guys?
Well, yeah. What is my prediction? My prediction is it's going to be a Fury Road knockoff.
I don't know what the fuck it is. I mean, from the trailer right now, it looks like, hey kids, you like Terminator? You like Terminator 2?
Right.
You like Fury Road?
You like that Bjork song, The Hunter, but sung by someone else?
Not Bjork, but by
Not
a dude.
Bjork? Some dude? Yeah.
You like... it's not the T-1000, it's the T-6000.
Yeah.
And he, can create multiple versions of himself.
Well, look, I'll tell you, the effects look good.
Black, like black color.
Yeah.
Not like...
Right, yes. I don't know. It's... I don't know.
I don't know what to expect from this movie. The trailer showed me nothing. It looked... The problem with the trailer was it looked just like any other fucking Terminator movie to me.
Yeah, it did.
Like a chase scene. I mean, they've done that already in Terminator 2. They've done that in Terminator 3. They've already done that in Salvation. Will it be better than Genesis?
It sounds like it.
I think it will be. Because I can't imagine it being worse. You'd have to really fuck that one up.
Well, look, I think the if you were to ask me really to sit back and remember all the stuff from the Terminator movies, what I would remember most and what I think was the coolest thing is there's a scene where and I forget which one it is, but where Linda Hamilton is saying he won't stop. He never, she's talking of the Terminator.
Yeah.
And she's saying, basically, she goes on for 30 seconds, he's relentless. He doesn't feel anything. He just keeps coming. And
it's like an internet troll.
Well, it's so perfectly related and everything. And I'll bet you this new movie is that. The sense of the Terminator just coming and coming and coming. And that, I think, is kind of the key to what made the original Terminator so good. And then Terminator 2 is that relentlessness.
The problem with Terminator... Okay, did you see the movie... Did you see the new Predator movie?
No. The Predator is
the new one that came out last year.
I heard it's terrible.
It is the worst movie ever made. I would say it's up there. If it's probably worse than Terminator Genesis.
Oh.
It's bad. And the fucked up thing is they got the guy Shane Black supposedly made it. I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
He was in the first Predator movie.
All right.
He's one of the. He's in
the crew.
Killed.
Yeah,
he's one of the first ones to get killed. He makes the guy laugh or something. The Native American guy gets him to laugh.
Yeah.
And it's bad. I mean, it's like garbage. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. Again, it's you could tell they threw some money at it, but whoever, it's they forgot how to make a movie.
Yeah.
And again, it's these characters and these premises, and you're maybe some things should just stop.
Right.
And
that's not they don't need
maybe
to keep
some
making
premises don't really the mythology or the lore, whatever bullshit that word used to describe. Maybe it's not. What made those movies great was that they're not. It wasn't really about a Terminator. It wasn't really about a Predator. It wasn't really about it's the situation.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
The plotting. It's Terminator is really. It's a sci-fi movie and has some sci-fi mind
Sure.
fucking with you and everything, but in the end of the day, it's a chase film.
Yeah, well, and I also think it's about, like, the 80s.
It's about family.
Well, no, it was like, it's about a moment in time where it was like, man, things were getting, like, pretty fucking out of hand. It seemed like.
But in the end of the day, though, the structure of the movie.
Chase movie.
It's a chase fucking movie.
It's
Terminator
dual.
2 is, again, a chase movie,
Yep.
but bigger.
Yeah.
Guess what? You can't really do that again. And Terminator 3 kind of proved that. And then they start doing... They try to make it something else. And who knows, maybe they just think it... I always say this, though.
Mm-hmm.
If you have the right talent behind it, you can make anything good.
Right.
Anything can be made good. So, I could be wrong, but I just don't know, outside of what made Terminator 1 and Terminator 2 great, without repeating it and making it a greatest hits thing, at that point, just go home and watch Terminator 1 and 2.
Right.
What could you fucking do to make it to the rich lore, the mythology, whatever the fuck it is? Because at the end of the day, what made it great was just a couple of little mind tricks. The future created the past. And then the future created the past with the past.
Yeah.
And the future created the future with the future. Wait, so the future created the future. The future created the future. And you're just like, whoa, dude. And you just hit that bong.
Right.
And you're just like... Whoa.
Well, that's it. At some point, it just falls on itself.
And it's like Predator. What made Predator great? Predator was, again, it begins with, like, it's an action movie.
Yep.
It's like a generic Arnold Schwarzenegger action movie. And then it turns into a, like...
It was a genre shift.
Yeah. It turns into, like, the hunters are now the hunted or something, whatever.
Yeah, but you're right. It is, like, it's a real basic movie. Like,
and then you just have this cool alien in the end, and it's great. And... Predator 2, did you see Predator 2?
I did, yeah.
I like Predator 2, actually.
Was Danny Glover in that?
Danny Glover's in it. I liked it. I thought it was... I actually enjoyed it. It's not as good as Predator 1.
No, but it's a different movie.
It feels different. Then they did those Horrible Aliens vs. Predator movies.
Yeah. Those are bad.
Did you see the Robert Rodriguez Predators? The Predator, where they're sent to the planet now? Where it's like...
that had Adrian Brody.
Forrest Whitaker's like... crazy person who was there.
Was Adrian Brody in it?
Yeah,
that was terrible, and I had such high hopes for that.
It's not horrible, but it's like there's something just not good about it.
I was really excited to see that because honestly, and I'm not even like
it's like what made Predator great. Maybe it was just because Arnold was in it.
Arnold was great.
Arnold's in it. Carl Weathers is in it.
Carl Weathers, Apollo Creed.
Freaking Jesse the Body
Ventura was in it.
Yeah. And it's like, did you watch? And so when you watch the new Predators, there's like no one in it. Like Thomas Jane plays a guy with Tourette syndrome.
Right.
The guy from Key and Peele.
Yeah, I know.
The one who didn't make Us and Get Out, the other guy. He's in it. He plays like a crazy... Like, it's bad. It's such a bad movie. I can't even explain how bad it is. I watched it, and like I think I posted on my Instagram stories. I'm like, this is the worst movie I've ever seen.
Well, the Predator, like Predator 2 worked, and I'm not sure why it worked, but I think it worked too. But that's another
Again,
one
it's just
where...
a different setting. It was like, hey, you have the jungle. Well, guess what? Now you're in the jungles of LA.
Yeah, and that was kind of a cool thing.
It's a dynamic shift.
Yes, exactly.
But what else are you going to do after that?
What else are you going to do?
And the problem is, it's like, some things don't lend itself to being like... It's like Marvel movies, it's like, why do they keep working? Well... Yeah, they're all superheroes in the end, but everybody's got unique powers and unique styles. It's like, you got like Doctor Strange, you got to deal with like trippy shit, and you got like Captain America and Iron Man.
There's different
genres,
like,
and then you got the space stuff, so that opens up. There's different things. There's a universe there.
Yes,
but it was already designed. The comic book company existed for 50 years,
right?
And they've been creating. They're borrowing from these stories that have been around for
a long time,
since the 60s and the 80s.
Yeah,
they're borrowing the best stuff from it. And the problem is that you're trying to do the same thing with like Terminator. But really, at the end of the day, the reason why you like Terminator was because Arnold was in it. He said, "Hasta la vista, baby. I'll be back." And it was again a specific genre. So I don't know if Terminator, outside of I'm going to go back and kill the mother of this, or I'm going to do this, I don't know if there's strong enough of a story to like.
Right. No, I follow you.
Who knows? Maybe they'll trick us and they'll do something amazing. Maybe it'll be so good that they actually give us the same thing we already saw, but because it's so good, we like it, and who cares? You know, it's like it's so well done that we get tricked into realizing we just watched Terminator 2 again.
Right. Well, do you
but
go
this
into
time with like?
Do you go into Terminator Dark Fate with giving it goodwill or bad will?
I don't have bad will towards it.
Oh, right.
I don't. I think I feel like there's getting the full cast back.
Right.
I don't think they would. I don't think Arnold would just jump undo it again. If
and
it
I
was
don't think
bad.
Linda Hamilton would have anything to do with it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, not like she's like got like a million things going on, but like
I'm sure she's fine.
She could have been in the other movies, and she decided not to.
Right.
So clearly, and she, I feel like though, if you notice, because did you see the new Halloween with?
No, I didn't.
I feel like they're borrowing off the Laurie Strode's badassery.
Right. Yeah.
Like this lady who's like well into her 60s, and she's like a badass older lady.
Yeah.
This was like a badass in Halloween. Right. And it was believable. So I'm sure they probably saw that and said, hey, let's get Linda Hamilton back. We'll make her a badass.
Right.
And people will buy... And she looks like a fucking badass in the trailer when she shows up.
Right.
She's actually probably got a more prominent role in this than Arnold looks like he does.
Yeah.
Like, in the trailer, does he, like, open the door and he's just like, what's up?
Right, yeah.
Hey, you want a beer? I'm just hanging out, being a Terminator.
I'll put on the game.
Yeah, he's like Fat Thor.
Yeah.
In Endgame. That'd be great. Imagine that.
Right. Yeah.
That'd be... But I don't have like ill will towards it. I'm not going in it being like, this is a shit movie. Like, I don't know what to expect.
I think that's the hallmark of how good Terminator 1 or Terminators 1 and 2 were, is that I agree with you. I go into this rooting for the movie and hoping it does well and hoping it's a good movie and thinking it could be a good movie.
I honestly think, though, it's kind of a shame that Salvation didn't do as well.
Yeah, it was built to do well.
And that it was like okay, because that could have been a way to expand the Terminator franchise, because you're dealing with like, okay, we're not sending people back in time now.
Right.
This is like the war.
Yeah,
We're showing you the war, and we're showing you like not the origins of John Connor, but like kind of like the middle or beginning of his.
Yeah.
He's already like established as like the main.
Well, as a kid, that was the movie I wanted to see,
and
that was it. That was.
But I was like watching it with my son. He was losing interest. It was like okay. It was kind of boring.
Yeah,
it wasn't that well done. I mean, like Sam Worthington, who just did Avatar.
Yeah.
He's playing like this mysterious character, and it's revealed that he's like, because in the beginning you're introduced to him, and he's like, he's about to be terminated.
Yeah.
He's about to get like death penalty.
I remember this. Yeah.
I don't know what the hell what was going on. What's her face is in it, and it makes no sense. Tim Burton's ex-wife. You've seen her.
It's not Heather Graham. It's
she's in it too.
Is this the woman from the Harry Potter movies?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's in it for like a little bit, and she comes back as like a hologram. It really makes no sense.
Right.
But it's kind of interesting because like, everyone's like...
Helena Bonham Carter.
Yeah, Helena Bonham Carter, yeah. So everyone's like super anti-robot. Anything robot, they're like... And it's revealed later that because he like steps on a mine, but he survives, but they see all his like exposed metal, and they want to kill him. And he's like, listen, I'm a human. Like, I'm not.
Right.
I'm like, what the fuck is he? And then they go into like the factory, and they fight like a CGI Arnold.
Oh, jeez.
And then, like, John Connor gets stabbed in the heart, and, like, the Sam Worthington character gives him his heart. And it's actually a well-done scene. Like, you're watching it, and you're like, all of a sudden, I'm watching it, I'm like, I feel bad for the guy. Even though this movie's not that great. And, John Connor gets to live, and he has the heart of this guy. And it's too bad that didn't perform well, and it was like if it just was like 20% better,
right,
like just flowed better, that could have been the way Terminator as a franchise exists outside of just the typical chase movie.
Yeah,
but it didn't do well, so they went back to like they made this weird convoluted mess with Genesis. Right. And then Dark Fate, I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck this is.
Well, I'll give it a shot. I mean, obviously, I'll give it a shot. And like I said, I think it speaks to the first couple movies that I go into this one hoping for the best. It's like with Star Wars stuff, some of the prequel stuff. I mean, it was hit or miss, but it's going to take a lot for me not to go into a Star Wars production without goodwill. I mean, I'll probably always go into it with that goodwill.
They're good at trailers, so and you think of as long as you see that big spaceship fly by.
Yeah,
and I just it's like, so when you watch this Terminator Dark Fate, are you the whole time going to be like, why don't they just fucking send the Terminator back?
Yeah.
Like, why don't they just... Okay, so Linda Hamilton and then beat Terminator T-1000. Why not 5 minutes later?
Right. Well,
3000 comes up.
That's why I had asked you earlier during the show. I was like, I would love for someone to say at some point, like, look, it takes like a fucking massive amount of energy to send someone back.
I think they do talk about that.
And we can't do this left and right. It takes like a perfect amount of like energy, and it's got to be the right time, and we can only do it so many times per year. And
I mean, like the stars align,
right? If they just
Earth
said,
rotates at this moment,
or it takes there's only so many DeLoreans. We can only get them. Yeah,
it's only so many jiggle.
Yeah.
Like, did you see when we talked about Endgame? Did you bring this up? Or I think that when Hulk brings back everybody, and spoilers, guys, spoilers for Endgame. When Hulk brings back everybody, because Tony Stark basically tells him, in a selfish way, I got a kid who's like 4 or 5 years old, and if you snap your fingers and we bring us back to 2018, this girl is not going to exist.
Yeah.
So Hulk's like, okay, I'll bring everybody back now.
Yeah.
But the problem is, if you bring everybody back now, 5 years from now, would that mean they'd be floating in space somewhere?
Yeah, it's
like, all right, everybody's back, and everybody's just like, because time, if you bring them back where they were,
right?
But you did bring that. I think you said that, because I made a joke and said, like, does he have? They just all show up in Kansas or something?
Yeah. It was the physics of that get a little unusual.
But then you just gotta accept the fact that a giant green man, is holding a arm thing that, like. Big plot hole. I don't know. We're talking about Terminator. But
sure.
Do you remember like the big deal they made about Infinity War with like the Infinity Gauntlet? That what was his name? Like entering in the Dwarf or something. Peter Dinklage's character.
Oh yeah.
He's the one who makes the hammer Stonebreaker.
Yes.
But you find out that like Thanos make him a gauntlet.
Right.
Because only like this magical
gauntlet
can wield the power. But Iron Man's just like, I was taking my Mach 3 suit. And I'll just have my Toyota Prius hold the 5 stones and 6 stones. And
that is a little weird.
Yeah. I know. I just thought about that. And, that's just another plot hole. Okay, so Terminator is a great movie. Terminator 2 is a great movie. Terminator 3, it's okay. Terminator Salvation, and Terminator Genesis is a complete pile of dog shit.
Dumpster fire. Yeah.
The TV show any good?
Well,
did you watch the show?
I did. I watched
all 3 episodes.
No, I think. Look, I want to say there was like 9 episodes of that. Did it come back for a second season?
I think it did.
Oh yeah, I didn't watch every episode.
Cersei Lannister in it.
Yeah, and it had the reason I started watching it is because it was the girl who played River Tam on
Firefly.
On Firefly.
She's the Terminator.
Was the Terminator, and there's this great promo piece of art that had her. Remember that movie Ex Machina?
Yeah.
Right.
It looked like that. Yeah, I remember that.
It was basically that. Yeah. And Ex Machina came after. I always thought Ex Machina
came out like many years later.
Right. And so there's a shot of like basically, and it was her torso with like wires and everything. Yeah. And it was good. It was very slow.
Robot.
Yeah, she was super pretty. But it was very slow moving. It had some good ideas. I think it was like about as good of a Terminator remake as you're going to get. And I'll bet you that this new movie, if anything, takes more from that than the others, because I think that
what was the show called?
Sarah Connor Chronicles was the name of it, and it was good. But look, I think it was on Fox, and they kept moving it around.
Yeah, they
didn't.
It was on
like Friday night.
They didn't nurture it.
Yeah.
It's Summer Glau.
Yeah.
going to end this, but do you remember the most famous... What's Summer Glau probably most famous for?
Well, for me, Firefly, but I'm sure she was in something else. Or...
She's most famous for the hover hand photos going around the internet.
Oh.
So...
Yeah,
fan expos
right.
and all that.
You put your hand around...
There was like this... Somebody
was
posted like... It might have been just from one convention.
Sure.
Of her... like making an appearance somewhere, and like 500 nerds hover handing her, and she's just like, I don't know if she's cringing or she's just there, and it was like it went everywhere. It was like on BuzzFeed.
Right.
You could probably find this. This is literally a collection of photos. It's probably the saddest, funniest thing ever.
Yeah.
That's why I remember this.
Yeah.
That's why I don't pay to meet famous people.
Right.
It was hysterical. And it's nothing against people who pay.
Right. Yeah.
Feel
No,
free
of course
to pay
not.
these
Yeah.
famous people. They don't.
Well, look. I mean, a lot of these genre actors. That's probably how they make their bones. You know,
in between things,
yeah.
it's a good way to make money. I mean, fuck, it's like the guy who wore the Boba Fett mask in like 3 scenes. Is a permanent convention fixture. Jeremy Bullock.
Oh,
I think is his name.
Couldn't have told you. But look, like
the fact that I know, I think I might have half his name right. It's pathetic. The lady who was Greedo.
Oh, really? That was a lady?
I think it was a lady.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Sure.
Regardless, dude's conventions, people pay her or him or whoever it is that fucking 2 minutes of footage.
That's a win-win because the fans want to be a part of it, and the actor doesn't mind being part of it, and money is it's like a
form of prostitution.
Well, look, in a very good way because I think most of these people go into it with eyes wide open, and there aren't systemic things that kind of create.
Do you think the Greedo guy, the Greedo person, told Lucas like, "Hey, I have an idea," to because you know that more people would go see Greedo, the person played Greedo in the convention, after the special edition. This is the conspiracy. It's like, hey George, why don't you have an idea for you? Why don't you go back and shoot and then people will come to me in conventions and pay me to ask the question, what do I think of George Lucas?
Yeah, his
decision to change me and get shooting Han first.
That's a little
and then I would for me. Create a bullshit story or whatever.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you that there was a little bit of an uptick on Greedo photos.
I'll bet. Well, look, get back to Summer Glau. Is it Glau or Glau? Yeah, and her hover hands. Look, on one hand, my initial
hands that hover over her.
My initial. Oh, wait a minute. They hovered over her.
Yeah, not her. Yeah, it's a photo. Because the joke is you putting your arm around someone, but you're not touching them. So it's just all these guys, and it's like
I think that's sweet.
Friend zone in the saddest way possible.
Yeah.
And it's just Summer Glau, and it was just, like I said, it was she obviously made an appearance, got paid to be there,
right,
and people were paying to take pictures with her. And like I said, it's just this one convention. It was a whole collection of it, and it's just her face. I don't think she moves or changes in this photos, but
that's funny.
It's it would if someone edited that together, that could be a great intro to a National Lampoon European Vacation movie.
I'm a little sympathetic to that because I have at my work. Sometimes I have to take pictures with people after we do stuff, and if it's a woman, I always feel a little weird. You know, it's I don't. It's a weird thing.
Is it Summer Glau?
No. I don't think I'd feel weird about that. I think in a very So I don't know. All right.
That's
Terminators.
Yeah, Terminators. I like it.
Right.
Okay.
All right. We're still going on about that.
I'm Rob Israel.
I'm Joseph K.
And you still going on about that. Thank you for listening to You Still Going On About That with myself, Rob Israel, and Joseph K. Remember, you can find us on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, Google Play, CastBox, and Podbean. So remember to like and subscribe, share, comment, leave us a basket of fruit or candy. Thank you for listening. All right, later. Bye.